So for our speaker for this morning, okay, he is a pioneering student of the BSU Media and Computer Animation. Ayan. Of the Ateneo de Samang University back in 2011. But had to change course 2 years later due to financial difficulties. No? And despite the challenges, he never lost his love for graphic designing, this passion, as well as his inclination for office administration, led him to exploring Google Workspace from his college years. No? Until the time he was hired as ICT faculty of the senior high school unit after his graduation. His knowledge and skills in Google Workspace have been one of his great assets. Yan, in conceptualizing, organizing, and managing programs back in his 3 years of work as social action coordinator of the same unit. And now that he's back in full-time teaching, Google Workspace helped him find solutions to many problems of online learning. So ladies and gentlemen, our speaker for this morning to talk about how to enrich students' online learning experience. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our speaker for the day, Sir George Lazarona Jr. Ayan. Sir George, magandang umaga po sa inyo. Ayan, Sir George, baka gusto niyo mag-unmute. Ayan, Hindi kayo na, ayun, unmute po muna.
Right.
Ayun, okay, Sir George.
Dala
Kamusta
ng
kayo?
kaba.
Ganun ba? Ayan, Sir George, kamusta po kayo, Sir George, ngayong umaga?
Well, of course, kinakabahan, but at the same time, may halong excitement. We know how helpful Google Workspace really is, no? And it's such a joy to share our experience with everyone para naman matulungan sila kung ano man po yung mga challenges that they're experiencing, maybe in the online learning or sa online work. Yun po.
Yan, tama po Sir George. Napaka-exciting ng ating discussion ngayon. So, Sir George, hindi ko na po patatagalin. Please take it away po.
All right. So once again, good morning everyone. How are you doing? Gising ba o inaantok? Nakapag-almusal na ba? All right. So once again, I am Sir George from the Senior High School Unit of Ateneo de Zamboanga University, but I would like everyone to call me Gio or GL instead. And this morning, I've been tasked to share with you how Google tools for enriching students' online learning experience. But by the way, guys, can I just check, klaro ba ang aking screen, presentation screen?
Yes, sir.
All right,
Klaro
thank you
po.
so much for the confirmation. All right, so I would like to encourage everyone, no, as I demonstrate to you some of the tools that I'll be presenting, please feel free to go along, sign in your Google account on a window, and then just open the waffle button on the upper right corner of the screen so you can access the application that I will be demonstrating later on para naman makasabay kayo or makafollow. Should you want to try also what I am demonstrating, okay?
Alright, sir. Noted po.
Ayun. Sige. Let me start with a question, everyone. Especially, although I observe, no, most of us here, medyo parang students yata ang karamihan na present ngayon. But I'm glad to see some of my co-teachers in the senior high school. And of course, yung isa kong Lodi na office staff from the registrar back in my college days, Sir Chris Chong. Hello, sir. Okay. So for my co-teachers or office staff, or for my co-educators na lang din, no? Or sa mga students, based on your experience, alin yung ginagamit madalas ng mga teachers when sharing lessons or information with you? Or as teachers, ano ginagamit niyo mostly when sharing information or lesson with your students? Kindly type in your answer in the chat box. Type in letter A if it is Facebook Messenger, B or if it is Gmail, or C if module. I'm talking about the hard copy module. Okay, somebody answered module. You may also answer more than one, no? Okay, someone answered Facebook Messenger. I would like to hear from the rest of the group. What about you guys? Okay, because in some ways, siguro magkakalabasan tayo ng mga hinanaing, Charla. No? Sa ating experience, when it comes to communicating with our teachers or maybe as teachers communicating with our students. Okay, somebody also answered letter C. It can also be a combination of for some. All right. Last time, normally, no, last semester, if I can remember, most of my students are really into Messenger. I also tried to ask some of my co-teachers, marami pa rin into Messenger. Actually, guys, no, before coming up with this session, mahilig ako mag-survey. Yan. Team Com Lab ako, lagi ako nasa computer lab when doing my sessions. And I would always ask my co-teachers, anong ginagamit niyo? Bakit nasa Messenger karamihan, ano? So later pag-uusapan natin yan, bakit kaya? So whatever your answers, no, may be, or whatever your answer may be, each of those platforms, perhaps napansin niyo rin na may kanya-kanya silang weaknesses. For example, if you're into Messenger, hindi talaga maiiwasan yung backreading. 'Di ba? Nag-post na si teacher ng link, tapos a few days later maghihingi ulit ng link sa Messenger. Bakit? Kasi sir, ang dami ng message, ang makapagod mag-backread. Same sentiments from office mates or co-teachers, no? Sa Gmail naman, ito yung sinasabi ng karamihan sa mga na-survey ko. Na-overwhelm sila sa mga messages because some of the messages coming into their inbox, hindi naman talaga necessary. Nandyan yung mga promotions, nandyan yung mga updates from those sites that they are subscribing to. No? Meron pa nga nagdi-disable talaga ng Gmail because of that allegedly hassle kuno. And then of course, sa module, para sa mga nasa modular or hybrid, madalas nakikita natin yung run sa Facebook. Meron pa nga mga memes sa TikTok. Ano ba yan si teacher, ang daming requirements pero ang laman ng module ko konti lang. And perhaps some of you have these siblings or mga pamangkin that you are helping, no, in answering their modules. You encountered instructions na nagsasabi, okay, describe the color that you can find in the image. Or as, naka-grayscale lang naman yung images. O di ba, funny yung experience. So aside from that, if you're a teacher and you're into modular mode, especially with some not so user-friendly LMS or learning management system, minsan nahihirapan tayo mag-locate ng files sa na-upload kasi minsan kalat-kalat. Also with the module, there is the lack of monitoring capacity on students' reading habit, di ba? Sa mga nasa hybrid co-teachers, no? Minsan pag nagsasabit yung mga students ng kanilang summative assessment outputs, nagugulat tayo, saan pinulot ang answer? Nagbasa ba talaga to ng module? Bakit parang pataka-taka lang? No? Okay. So, with that, Google actually has something to offer us to solve these problems. And that's what I'm excited about to share or to demo to you this morning. So, tatlo lang, no? I'll start with Google Groups, and then Gmail, and then the Google Forms. So let me start with the Google Groups. Okay. Quick question, everyone. Have you heard of Google Groups? Can I see a shocked emoji if it is your first time to hear this app? A heart if you have heard of it but haven't used it yet. A thumbs up if you have already used it at least once. And, all right, a confetti if you think you're already an expert to it. Okay, so I can see some thumbs up. Okay, meron ding shock. All right. So, yeah, I would agree, no. This is actually not a popular application of Google. Kasi nga nandiyan naman si Messenger, nandiyan naman si Gmail. So to tell you or to be able to explain to you kung ano tong Google Groups, let me just go to the benefits of using Google Groups. So if you are a user of Google Groups, it will allow you to create one original email address for an entire group. Okay? Later, I will show you how it works. For example, kung sa Messenger, meron naman tayong group chats, di ba? Ito yung parang group chat version, not naman group chat version, but ito yung parang group mail version naman ni Gmail. It helps you also share weekly information with the group, parents, specific members of your specialized programs or committees, or even of each grade level you are teaching if you're a teacher. This is also a good space for discussion of your students or other groups on certain topics. Sige, pakitaan ko kayo ng example, guys. So if you have a Google group, say, for example, since marami sa atin dito ay students, for example, you're a group leader or you're the class president or the club president rather. And then, of course, mas social, mas formal yung announcements that we circulate through Gmail. So one of the struggles that we might experience, as showed earlier, no, karamihan kung bakit marami sa atin ayaw gumamit ng Gmail. As it's a bulk of emails coming into your inbox, nandoon din yung bulks of email addresses that you will have to insert whenever you will make an announcement to a large group of people. So to avoid that, using Google Groups, you can already create a single email address for that large group. May it be your club, may it be your class, may it be your department or office. So that, for example, when you are scheduling an event in your Google Calendar, say you would want them to be invited and to receive a reminder before your event sa inyong calendar in a particular event, you will no longer have to insert one email address after another until you reach 30 or more, no? You will only have to insert the email address for that group. Ganun lang kadali, ang saya, di ba? Okay, so here's a sample of a group mail or an email address that I created for one of my classes last year. Okay, so sinong gusto makagawa nito? Okay, so sa mga office heads dyan, club presidents, no? Department heads, or even teachers. Okay, another sample, no? When you are using Google Groups. Here is the website of Google Groups. Okay? And then, when you click on a certain group that you have, nandito, sa left side makikita ninyo yung list of groups actually. Okay? At what you can see on the screenshot is actually the conversation stream under my group, under one group that I'm handling, no? My class, Com111 Hurtado. Ang maganda nito guys, pwede kayong mag-post ng announcement right inside the Google Groups. So you just have to type in the message and then whenever you have to go back to show some proof that you actually posted that announcement, punta lang kayo sa groups ninyo, lahat ng messages are grouped according to your topic. So para siyang forum type for those who are using what you call this Moodle for your learning management system. At the same time, while Google Groups will generate this, what you call this conversation stream, you will also receive the announcement or post to your email directly. Okay? So, ganun kaganda yung Google Groups, no? And so that in case you have a student and then they are prone to missing out announcements because hindi sila nagbabasa ng Gmail masyado, you can simply teach them, no, how to access the Google Groups for them to be able to check all the posts that you have made. And then, mare-review nila, ito sir, na-miss out ko, sorry. And here it is. Same thing for clubs, no? Although, nandiyan naman si Facebook group, pero as a teacher myself, one reason why I don't really like using Facebook or Messenger as my communication channel with my students because distractions are everywhere in Facebook. For example, you are an employee and then you're just supposed to check on the update on your Facebook group. But upon doing so, 10 minutes or 15 minutes later, you found yourself browsing already through your newsfeed. Nakalimutan mo na ano yung purpose mo. Tapos nahuli ka pa ng boss mo. Oh, it's working time. Tapos nagfe-Facebook ka lang. Sarap sanang sabihin, sino ba kasi nagpo-post ng announcement sa Facebook? O, di ba? So, another example. Okay. You can also use Google Group Mail when posting announcement through Gmail. So say you have been tasked to post an announcement directed, like ako, no, as the one sending you the Zoom links for AFRIENDE Learning Hub webinar or the certificates, instead of, although I'm using a mail merge naman, no, as an add-on sa Google Sheets, instead of posting or inserting your email addresses one by one, I can simply create an email address for all of us and then insert it here in the recipient's space, no? And then post the Zoom link or whatever announcement it is and then send, and then all of you will receive the message. So this time, let me demo to you how to create a Google group. So madali lang siya guys, 3 steps lang yung kailangan nating tandaan. Okay, again, take note of these 3 steps. One, you just simply look for this button, create group. And the next you have to configure the privacy settings. And then third, you add the members. So to access your Google Groups, okay, for example, nandito kayo sa inyong Google Calendar, or whether nasa Gmail pa kayo, no, or Google Drive, simply go to this waffle button right here. Okay, click on it. And then you simply scroll down or up until you find yung icon ni Google Groups. And then it will bring you here. For those of you na wala pang, who are not yet part of a Google group, then you won't see yet any groups on the left section of your Google Groups page. But if you're already part of one, say for example, you are an EDSO employee, usually you will already see a Google Groups list here. But for you guys, no, say you would want to create a Google group for, say ako gagawa ako ng Google group for the participants of this webinar. So click on the create group button. Okay, step 1, remember, creating group. So here, I will put in the name of the group, AFRIENDE Learning Hub Participants. First, ganito na lang, GWETS participants for short. I'm not going to save this, by the way. Ayan. You will notice also that upon typing in the name, Google Groups will generate the group email right away. However, you have the option to change the name as you, whatever you prefer. And then, since I am using a personal Gmail account, okay, the extension is at googlegroups.com. So you can already familiarize this email address and you can already use that once you have saved this Google Groups. The group description is just optional, so we can click on next. By the way, is everybody following, or am I going too fast, or okay lang? All right,
Okay lang
thank you
po,
for the
sir.
confirmation. Okay, now we're done with the creation of the group. We now have to configure our privacy settings. This is very important, guys, because along the way, once you have already created your Google group, pwedeng makita yung inyong Google groups in other group list ng mga members who are also part of other Google groups. Especially if you want your conversations not to be private just among your group members. So we can search the group, you can select it here, you can configure it here. So there are 2 options, other group members or anyone in the web who can join the group. There are 3 options, only invited users, anyone can ask, or anyone can join. But in this case, if you want your group to be just private, so only invited users who can view. So there are 4 options, group owners, group managers, group members, or anyone on the web. But by default, si Google Groups, ang default setting is group members. So it's up to you later, no, whatever configuration you want. So say okay na yung ating privacy settings. Now we hit the next button, and at this part, you add the members. Now, perhaps some of you here, no, when you insert members or email addresses like in Gmail, mano-mano ninyong ini-insert yung mga email. Now, one quick way to do that is simply to copy or to have a list of email addresses and then copy that list of email addresses. Like for example, this one. So I'll just copy this and then go back to my Google Groups, insert them here. And then you simply press enter. Now the invitation message will be the one that you will use to explain to these people whom you have invited why you are asking them or including them in the group. And then once everything is done, create group. By the way, this directly add members. You can use that if in case you are adding members who are already part of other Google groups that you have. Especially if all the members of that groups, you want to be included in this new Google group that you are creating. Were you able to follow? Can I see a thumbs up if you're still there? All right. So that's how you create a Google group, as simple as that. Okay? So I hope for those na merong nakisabay siguro, no? Kung meron mang nakisabay, any questions? Do you have any questions? Or questions muna tayo with regards to the Google groups. Is there any? You can either chat it or type it in the chat box or simply raise your hand and turn on your mic. All right. So If wala, let me ask you this question naman. What is your takeaway, or ano yung mga realizations, or did you have any light bulb moment while learning about the Google Groups? Where do you think you can use this? Or perhaps you are already thinking, okay, pwede ko itong gamitin sa ganito. Any thoughts?
Ayan. So to our dear participants, no, you can type your answers in the chat box po, so that our speaker will know kung ano po yung thoughts niyo or ano yung takeaways natin, no, sa ating Google Groups. Ayan. So kanina, Sir George, no, karamihan ay may mga first time po marinig ang Google Groups, and talagang kuan po siya, no, parang it's something new. Even sa akin po, bagong yung Google Groups na yon, hindi ko po siya madalas gamitin, but it sounds interesting po, no? Ayan. So we have a learning anchor here from Sir Aljo. Sabi niya po dito, it gives less time to compose an email, especially po if maraming recipients. Ayan. So siguro
That's
kasi
true.
parang group email po ang dating nun Sir George, di ba?
Yes, no. Yes po, sir. Especially for me as a teacher, imagine I'm handling 5 sections. And then, kung sa Gmail, sa Messenger kasi may group chat, and then if you have an announcement, ipopost mo one group chat after another. Well, with Google Groups, if I'm going to compose an email, yung email address ng 5 klase, nandun na sa isang email.
Correct.
Ganun po siya kabilis. We can say it's a time saver. Thank you, Sir Aljan, no? Correct yung sinabi ninyo.
Sir George, kuan po, no, kayo po bilang Google Group user po, ano para sa mga estudyante natin or sa mga ka-office mate natin na may madalas or may nag-handle po sila ng mga organizations or nag-handle po sila ng mga clubs, no, even outside Zamboanga. Meron po ba kayong advice on how they can further utilize the Google Groups po?
All right. I think I can better explain this when we touch on Gmail, no? Kasi Google Groups actually can be best used along with other Google applications like Google Calendar and Gmail. So if you want to maximize or to further enjoy how you use Google Calendar or Gmail, magandang pang partner si Google Groups. So yun po, sir. I think mas ma-explain ko po siya better when I discuss already Gmail.
All right. Sige po, Sir George. I think clear po so far yung Google Group sa ating mga participants. Okay? And siguro yung iba po ay nagko-compose pa rin po ng kanilang learning anchor. So dear participants, please do type your learning anchors in the chat box, no, so that makita po namin yung learnings niyo, and ma-record po siya dito sa ating no, as dito sa ating chat, Zoom chat, and as a part of your parang participation po, no? So ayan. So Sir George, I think pwede po tayo mag-proceed.
All right. Thank you so much, Sir Roms. Okay. So we're already done with the Google Groups, and as I said, mas may enjoy natin yung functions ng Google Groups if we partner it with other Google applications. Just like, for example, Gmail. Okay, a question for everyone. Okay, which application do you use most when posting announcements to your class, to your groups, to your organization or office? Can you give me a thumbs up if it is Messenger and a heart if it is Gmail? Okay, Messenger. Tingnan natin yung iba. Okay, Messenger. So, Team Messenger ang karamihan sa atin, ano? Okay, next question. Which is more convenient for you to use as a teacher or maybe as a group leader, as an office head or as an office staff? Again, show a thumbs up if for you it's Messenger, and a heart if you believe or if you think it's Gmail. Okay. Team Messenger pa rin, panalo. So walang Team Gmail. Okay. Now, what about for this question? Which is more organized? Can you show me a thumbs up if you think it's Messenger, and a heart if it's Gmail? Okay? Nabubuhay si Team Gmail. What about for our students? Okay, teachers, we have here teachers saying it's Gmail. Okay. So, this time around, walang sumagot ng Messenger. Okay. We can't deny talaga no, how useful and how convenient it is for us to use Messenger. But there are really cases also that we can't deny that Gmail can be more helpful than Messenger. So, kailan ba dapat natin gamitin si Gmail? Everyone, please take note of this, no? We should use Gmail if you want your messages to be organized and easy or easier to trace back. Because if we use Messenger, although kaya nga I think this reminds us no, that kung ano talaga ang purpose ni Messenger compared sa purpose ni Gmail. Perhaps in some ways or in many ways magkaiba talaga silang dalawa in terms of their purpose. Second, if you want your messages to be detailed and supported with formatted text. Ano tong formatted text? Did you notice sa Messenger when you are using your group chat or exchanging message with your chatmates, you cannot change the font type or the font size of the text in Messenger. Something that you can do in Gmail, especially if you're posting an announcement and then you want to add emphasis on certain text because of the level of importance, right? And also with Gmail, you can add on link by making hyperlink text, no? So you can shorten a link by simply adding that link to a certain text or text, no? So here are examples. Here's how we can organize emails in Gmail. Okay? Marami sa atin nung balikan natin kanina yung opening question, no? Ano yung pinaka ginagamit natin in communication? Especially in posting announcements or exchanging or sharing lesson to our students. Marami sumagot na sa Messenger, no, aside doon sa mga sumagot ng module. And the common reason why many don't like using Gmail is because the overwhelming amount of emails entering our inbox, idagdag pa natin yung mga scams. And then minsan, yun nga, no? So, merong ways actually on how we can declutter our inbox, no? Right from the incoming of the messages, pwede na nating kontrolin yung flow at yung amount of emails appearing on our inbox. Pwede pala yun? Okay, yes, pwede. Just take note of these 3 steps. The first 3 steps that you can see on the screen right now. Okay, number 1, create labels. Number 2, create filters. And number 3, format inbox. Now, let me ask you this question. Sino dito nakagamit na or familiar with the labels? Okay, show me a heart if nakagamit na kayo ng labels. Show me a thumbs up if hindi pa. Again, show me a heart kung nakagamit na kayo ng labels. Or a thumbs up kung hindi pa. Okay, sana all my label. Okay, so meron pa mga hindi nakagamit ng labels. Okay, so sa mga hindi pa nagagamit ng labels, I will show you it. I will show it to you guys. So take note of this carefully. Napakaganda ng function. 4 lang si Ma'am Rex. Okay, at least, diba, Ma'am Rex uses the number 4 to trace back old emails because some, kahit yung iba, no, meron, hindi rin pa familiar sa number 4. Now, what about filters? Ako guys, to tell you honestly, labels familiar ako, format familiar ako. Si filters, hindi pa ako masyadong familiar, no? And I was surprised, napaka-useful din pala ni filters. What about you guys? Are you like me? Okay, can you show me a thumbs up naman kung hindi nyo pa nagagamit ang filter and a heart kung nagamit nyo na ang filter? Okay. So, I can see mostly, okay, mas marami ang nasa heart, kokonti ang nasa likes. Okay. Sana all, hindi kailangan ng filter sa TikTok. Ma'am Rex. Joke lang. Okay, daming hugot ni sir. Kidding aside. Okay, so take note of this, create labels and then filters. What about formatting inbox? Okay. Show me a thumbs up if you're familiar and you have already tried to format your inbox. I mean, a heart if you have already formatted your inbox at least once, and thumbs up if hindi pa. A heart if na-try nyo nang mag-format ng inyong inbox, and Thumbs up if hindi pa. Alright. So may mga nakapag-format na. Okay, so this is great, no? At least we can finally learn paano i-format ang ating inbox, i-organize ang ating Gmail para naman less na yung hassle of overwhelming incoming number of emails. So how do we do this? First, let's go to our Gmail. Open your Gmail if you want to try this out too. Okay, I'm using a brand new email account that I created for a business account, no? A business that I'm gonna start very, very soon. Okay, so first, punta tayo sa labels. Paano gumamit ng labels? First, si labels, you can find it here. Actually, guys, itong nasa left section, this part, these are already considered as labels, no? These are like labels already. Okay, you have the drafts, important, chats, scheduled, all mail. And then down here, you can manage these labels or create new label. So ang purpose ng label is simply to organize yung mga emails sa ating inbox. Say for example, you want all emails coming from a certain person or from a certain group of people to be stored in one label. Or all emails with this topic will be stored in this label. Say for example, all emails for AFRIENDE Learning Hub. So to create a new label, just click on this Create New Label button. And then hit Create. Okay, so may label na. Okay. Now, what to do next? If you notice on my screenshot, diba? On my screen rather, wala pang email. So you can either start creating or adding senders to a label, but in my case, since wala pa, now, sabihin natin, I want my Gmail to automatically store certain emails from a sender to AFRIENDE Learning Hub. Si AFRIENDE Learning Hub, nandito na siya sa taas. By the way, guys, for it to be more organized, pwede nyo ring lagyan ng color ang inyong label. Okay? So, AFRIENDE Learning Hub, say, you just click this, a label color. For AFRIENDE, I want it to be color green. Ayan. And then, there's a sender, gusto ko, dito siya mapasok lahat ng emails niya. So, ang gawin natin, simply click this Show Search Options in the search box dito sa right side. Click on it, and then type the email address. Etong box na nakikita ninyo, this is the criteria box for the filtering. So what we are doing right now is the filtering. No? We want our Gmail to filter incoming mails. No? So that the moment they reach our inbox, they will be stored right away in a certain label. So I want all mails coming from my Adzu account to go to AFRIENDE Learning Hub. Example lang to, guys. Okay, so next, create or click Create Filter. Okay, and then you look for what you want to be done with the mail. So if you want it to be applied to a certain label, click Apply the Label, and then choose the label where you want to store the mails coming from that sender. So at this case, gusto ko sa AFRIENDE Learning Hub. Or dito sa option na to, you can also create a new label. Okay? So lagyan natin sa AFRIENDE Learning Hub and then create filter. So ngayon si Gmail ang gagawin niya. All mails coming from that mail will be stored sa AFRIENDE Learning Hub. Although guys, lalabas pa rin siya sa inyong inbox. However, pag lumabas na siya sa inyong inbox, meron ng lalabas na color nung label sa gitna or sa gilid nung pangalan. So that it will be easier for you to see from what group this belongs. Aside from that, guys, no, yeah, sana tayo. Okay. So, balikan lang natin sandali yung presentation. Okay, at this case, at this point, gusto nating i-format naman yung ating inbox. The formatting of inbox, how does it work is that, for example, marami na yung email sa inyong account. Kasi syempre, di ba, overwhelming yung number of emails. pwede nating i-format yung ating inbox in a way na yung mga important mails muna ang nasa taas, tapos yung mga hindi importante, hindi ipapakita or nasa baba. So, lahat ng mga may labels, everyone, lahat ng mga may labels, Gmail count them already as important. Okay? Not only that, lahat din ng mails na, sige, tingnan natin guys ha, sandali. To format first your inbox, click on the settings button right here. And then you will see the section below theme called inbox type. And there are how many types of formats? You have the default. The default is the one that you can see right now upon opening your Gmail in case you haven't applied yet any formatting. And see default format, your inbox is divided into 3 categories. You have the primary inbox, the social inbox, where mails coming from social media sites are coming from or are stored, and then the promotions. Ito namang important first, notice this mark here, itong arrow mark. Important mails are those that are mails that you normally open, mails that you normally respond to, or mails to persons that you normally send mails to. Okay? So all these engagements that you do in Gmail, Google will count it as important. So kapag pinili nyo ito siya, ang magiging format ng inyong inbox, lahat ng important ang laging nasa taas. So lahat ng unimportant, hindi nyo lagi binubuksan, mga email addresses that you don't normally send mails to, hindi ilalagay ni Gmail sa taas ng inyong inbox. Following? You can try that one right now while I'm discussing here so that you can see for yourselves. Okay, Sir Aljo tried it. Now what about the unread first? Okay. The unread, if you're the type of Gmail user na laging nakaka-miss out ng email, hindi palabas ha. So you can use this one. Okay, you can set your format into this. Pero meron din naman si Gmail, ang ginagawa niya kapag naka-important yung format mo, nilalagay niyang automatically yung important and unread sa taas ng inyong inbox. O di ba? Ang saya ng may ganung format because kung dati overwhelmed ka palaga with the number of mails that you are receiving, at least this time around, makikita mo na talaga yung mga dapat na i-prioritize na mails on the top of your inbox. Now, the starred, okay. The starred inbox or the starred format, ilalagay niya sa taas ninyong inbox lahat ng mails coming from people that you have starred. Remember, if you notice sa inyong inbox, may dalawang marks yan dito sa gilid eh. After itong arrow, which is the important mark, and then this one, the star. Si important mark, automatic siya, di ba? Nilalagay ni Gmail for those mails or senders that you normally interact with. Si star naman, pwede nyo siyang ilagay para ma-recognize ni Gmail na etong sender na to important even if bago ka pa lang nakipag-interact sa kanya. So it's either you put an important mark or a star because favorite mo yung sender or you don't want to miss also a mail from this person. Now, ito yung pinakamaganda, the priority inbox. The priority inbox, all these other formats will be present but in a particular order that you will set. Okay? So lalabas si star, lalabas si unread, lalabas si important, but in a particular order that you will set. So if you choose this one automatically, it will show the configuration of your inbox. Okay, so you notice my screen right now. Dinivide niya na ngayon into 3 different sections ng aking inbox. So nasa itaas, nilagay niya si important and unread. Next, si starred. And below is everything else. Now, why don't you try it right now in your Gmail inbox? Napakadali lang, mabilisan lang po. Okay? So if like Sir Aljo, you were able to see for yourself how it works, can you see a heart there? All right. So kahit ito lang no guys, no, hindi na tayo mahihirapan na mag-view ng ating inbox. Meron ka ng labels. With the label, pwede mo nang ma-filter yung mga incoming mails directly to your preferred labels. aside from the mails no sa labels, pwede mo rin i-filter yung mga mails by topic, by words, no? So that kahit na isang sender, pwede mong ma-filter yung mails niya to different labels. So this is something interesting and exciting to explore later on, guys. And I'm excited also, perhaps if my time in the future, to hear feedbacks from you, how it has helped you. Okay, so once it's all done, you already created labels, you already set filters for incoming mails, you have already formatted your Gmail inbox. And the next thing to do is, for example, in the future, no, with all mails already in, organized in your Gmail account, say kailangan kang hanapin. Okay? What you need to do, okay? Napakadali lang. Here's the search box. You can simply type in the mails that you are looking for, either by the sender, by topic, or by the date it was sent. Ganon ka-intuitive, ganon ka-intuitive si Gmail, no? So that it easily recognizes what you want to do or what you are asking for. Are we good? Is everybody able to follow?
Yeah, yes po, Sir George.
All right. So questions so far. Oh, by the way, guys, please, I invite you to try this later, maybe after this, no? Try to create a label and filter for the following groups of people. Maybe hindi nyo pa ito nagagawa, and for this reason, cluttered ang inyong Gmail. So why not create a Gmail for your class, if you're a student, for your classmates or organizations, for your office mates, for your organizations, and emails that you don't want to see on the top of your inbox. No? So just try this later. Okay. Now, questions so far?
Ayan po. So participants, mga ma'am and sir, you can type your questions in the chat box or feel free to unmute your mic, no, kung meron po kayong gustong itanong kay Sir George regarding po dun sa pinakita po niya kanina.
Okay. So while the others perhaps are still typing their answers, maybe meron na rin kayong mga thoughts, no, or light bulb moments that you would like to share. So go on lang, guys. Friends, go on lang. Okay, so looks like marami tayong natutunan, no? Everybody is kind of silent, or maybe just typing in their thoughts.
Yes, Sir George. Baka nagtatype pa po sila ng kanilang mga thoughts po, Sir George.
All right.
Or sinusubukan pa nila yung mga features na natutunan nila ngayon. Medyo matagal gawin yung filter. No? May mga times kasi na yung filter pag ginagamit natin, merong feature ang Gmail na pag gumamit ka ng filter, dumidiretso siya dun sa mga labels na ginagawa mo instead of
showing it
parking dun
inbox,
sa
sir,
inbox.
No? Yes.
Dapat careful din sila doon kasi ako madalas nakakamiss ako ng mga email kasi dumidiretso siya dun sa label because of the application of filter.
Okay po.
Pero
Maybe
masaya kasi ma-organize mo yung inbox mo. Hindi ka naaabot ng 1,000 na unread emails.
Yes po. That's right. So friends, no, to those who are new to the filter, para hindi malito or hindi makalimutan na ma-miss out ni Gmail na ilagay sa top of your inbox yung ibang mga mails, make sure to mark senders as important or i-star ninyo para pag naka-format, ifa-follow pa rin ni Gmail yung format na sinet ninyo. Okay, so that kung yung my mail na minark ninyo is important, then hindi ma-miss out ni Gmail na ilagay pa rin siya on the top of your inbox. Okay, I'm happy for Sir Aljo, no? He found na okay talaga. And na-realize niya default pala yung format na ginagamit niya the whole time. Yeah. Okay. So in case you want to go back to the old format, you just go to the settings button again. Go back to the settings button and then it will just toggle out yung inbox types. So yun, pwede niyo lang siya i-view again. And then you can actually control the number of mails appearing in your inbox per category. So you just go to the See All Settings button below the settings, and then go to your accounts and important. No? Nandito yung mga settings, guys, should you want to see them, and configure pa them in detail talaga. Ayan. So, all right, Sir Louis shared, today I was able to find 20 unread emails that has been bothering me for more than a year now. Okay, so happy po, Sir Louis, to hear that, ano? And I hope others also felt relief finding help with this feature of Gmail.
Si George, yung inbox ko parating merong natitirang 20 unread emails, ano?
Oh.
Nililinis ko siya every week, nililinis ko, binabasa ko, delete ko yung mga hindi kailangan, pero may natitira talaga na 20. Today ko lang sila nahanap. Way back 2019 pa yung iba.
Okay. So at least no, ang dami nating pwedeng gawin, sir. At least relief talaga siya. Especially in my case, no, for my co-teachers na may mga appeals lagi from students. Especially with parents na gusto pang i-appeal yung mga failed students. So kung ayaw nating lumabas sila on the top of our inbox because tapos na lahat ng juice, tapos na lahat ng extensions na binigay, we can use filter and we can use labels for them. Okay? Should we want, especially no, with that case, maglagay din naman tayo ng schedule sa ating calendar wherein we are going to entertain them naman. But maybe not to that high priority level because especially now we are already preparing for the fourth quarter perhaps, no? Para hindi naman magkaroon ng backlog sa work, sa operations natin at the present time. Okay, so thank you po so much for all those who shared their light bulb or enlightening experience enlightening experience sa ating topic on Google or Gmail rather. So we're done already with the Google Groups. We're done already with the Gmail. Now, this one, although majority of our participants at the moment are students, I believe this is still useful for you. Because hindi lang naman, especially perhaps kung may tutor kayo, o kaya naman may mga tutorial clubs kayo, di ba? Yan. Or you're trying to share a knowledge to someone online or to friends. Ayan. So this is for you. Google Forms. Okay. Question, guys. For what purpose do you usually use Google Forms? Can you type in the chat box? 1, if you use it mostly for a quiz. 2, if surveys. 3, if for a synchronous class. And 4, if sign-up sheets. Okay, Sir Chris is using it usually for sign-up sheet. Sir Aljo for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 5, share mo naman Sir Aljo, ano yung number 5? Okay, Miss Ivy, same din, 1, 2, 3, 4. Si Nover, quiz, surveys, and sign-up sheet. Si Ma'am Rex, quiz and sign-up sheet. Yes, Sir Aljo, ano yung number 5? Okay, si Gab, quiz, surveys, and sign-up sheets. Si Sir Louis, surveys and sign-up sheets. Okay. So, I'm happy no na merong nag-number 3. May mga nakapag-share ng number 3. Something new, no? I remember one time I was in the computer laboratory preparing a Google form for one of my asynchronous classes. And one of my co-teachers approached me. Hindi ko pa rin magets paano nagagamit ang Google Forms for asynchronous class. So let me show you how it can be used for a synchronous class in this discussion. So here are some benefits, no, if you will use Google Classroom, or I mean Google Forms for A mode class. A mode, that's asynchronous class for short. Of course, di ba, kapag nasa modular kasi tayo or hybrid, kami for example sa ADSU Senior High School, basic education unit, nasa hybrid kami. We have both synchronous class and then asynchronous class. For asynchronous class, we expect our students to answer their modules. So nandoon na yung may mga discussion questions doon, from pre-election to concept notes or content, down to guided practice, reflections, pati summative assessments nandoon na. from action to evaluation. Action yung term namin for performance task, and then evaluation yung term namin for written works. Written works are the quizzes, and then we have the MPBA, no? So with that, kadalasang problema na na-encounter namin, there are really students who are not reading, no? But aside from that, syempre as a teacher, you want to hear their insights. Pero sometimes, maghihintay ka pang dumating sa'yo yung hard copy ng outputs for you to be able to read their thoughts. Or if not naman, kung meron kayong LMS or Learning Management System, you will have to wait. You will still have to download, no? Or go from one page to another, next, click next again, in order for you to be able to check on the outputs of the students, which sometimes cost a lot of time or hassle, no? Aside from that, yung sa sobrang dami ng pages or windows that you will have to open, minsan kukulangin ka sa oras para mabasa yung insights, thoughts, and level of learning ng mga estudyante. But with Google Forms, tabulation, and response page, you can simply browse through, diba? Scroll up or scroll down for you to see yung mga answers ng mga bata from one section to another. Imagine like this that you can see on the screen. In one page, you can see the 138 responses of students coming from 5 sections that you're handling. All right. So, you know, aside from that, okay, ang maganda nito, kung sa modules natin grayscale ang images, hindi tayong pwedeng maglagay ng videos, but we can post in links. With Google Forms, you can create an electronic type or an electronic alternative module, diba? Where the students can answer. They can still use the module. They can read from their module, and then you can put on videos and additional resources to Google Form for them to explore and see more examples and helpful illustrations, no? Like this one. Ang maganda pa nito, guys, si Google Form, pag yung mobile version niya, napaka-seamless. Napaka-comfortable i-browse yung content, di ba? So if you have a prelection that needs colorful or colored image, so pwede mong ilagay sa iyong Google Form. And then for your concept notes, say may case study, gusto mong pag-aralan ng mga bata yung isang case. And then you observe not all your students are into reading. So gusto mo ma-motivate silang mag-case study, so you can put in a video from YouTube. Ang maganda pa kay Google Form, hindi mo kailangan mag-add ng link, or although pwede kang mag-add ng link of a certain YouTube video, but alam nyo ba guys, sa loob ng Google Form, pwede kayong mag-search for YouTube videos. And then isa-select nyo na lang doon. And then you want to get the insight of the student on that video or their answers to the case study. So pwede ninyong sundan yung video ng inyong case study questions. And then from there, lahat ng answers will be placed or stored in a response page of Google Form. But at the same time, you can also ask Google Form to generate a tabulated form of all the answers in the form of a Google Sheet. So napaka-convenient nito para sa mga teachers. So ayan. Not only that, no, especially for those teachers na gustong i-record yung video nila, who wants to record themselves while discussing a lesson, you can place it here directly from your YouTube channel. Diba? Para mas if you want to explain further, no, yung topics to your students. The same thing is also possible if you're a tutor or you're a person who simply wants to share knowledge to people online. And then you also want to get feedback from them directly. No? So pwedeng nandito na kaagad. And then mas madaling i-trace back yung mga reviews later on with Google Forms kasi meron ka ng spreadsheet at the same time meron ka pang Google Form, right? You can see all those responses in the response page of the Google Form. What a convenience. And of course, like what I said a while ago, you can tabulate your students' outputs from various lessons into one Google Sheet. Hindi lang yan, guys. Sa response page ng inyong Google Sheet, or I mean ng Google Form, you can see an analysis made by Google Forms on the responses of the students. How many were able to answer correctly? How many did answer this option with answer letter A? How many answered letter B? Or how many share the same thoughts for this certain issue? Ang dami, di ba? All in one file. So you don't have to open iba't ibang mga files from your computer, iba't ibang files from your Google Drive, just to analyze everything. Everything is there and you can see them all in a glance. Okay, I hope you will be able to relate with me with the convenience that this brings us actually, no? Okay, now, for those who haven't tried it yet, and perhaps you want to use Google Forms for a synchronous class. So ito yung process that we need to familiar. If I'm going to break down the process, no, ganito lang siya kadali. Okay, this infographic shows the process, no, of using Google Form as a way of sharing lessons to people and getting their feedback at the same time, or checking their level of learning. So first, creating the banner. This is important because alam naman natin lahat tayo, sanay tayo sa Google Form being used as survey form. 'Di ba? So sa unang tingin, ayaw natin makita si Google Form na parang survey. Kung gusto nating for learning purpose siya, syempre gusto natin ma-feel na academic ang dating. So you will have to change the theme, and then you will have to change the banner. Yung banner pwede ninyong gawin sa Canva. I will show you a sample demo later on para mas maganda. From there, once you already have the banner and have set the theme, you can already proceed to your sections. So if you're a teacher like me, no, basically our module is divided into pre-lection, content, the concept note, and then the different types of assessments. So for the Google Form, of course, hindi natin pwedeng kaligtaan yung details ng students. Of course, it happened to me the first time I did it. Email address lang ang kinolek ko. So when it comes to checking the works, no, or kasi ako nagbibigay ako ng mga incentives, no, kapag may mga activities na kompleto yung mga bata. Parang for example, meron akong gimmick, I call it quiz retake ticket. So ginagamify ko yung class ko. So for every asynchronous mode session, meron kayong 5 battle points. And then the moment you reach 5 battle points, you can buy a quiz retake ticket, whatever quiz na mababa yung score ninyo. 30 battle points, okay? So for me to be able to monitor, and as well as for the students to be able to monitor yung number of battle points that I already have, so what we can do is we go to the Google Sheet. So maraming features naman si Google Sheet, i-discuss sa atin on another session, no? May mga features si Google Sheet wherein you can do sorting, you can add some formula para mas madali mong ma-compute. Ano na ba yung standing ng bata? Ilan na yung battle points ng bata? Para in case mababa yung score niya on this certain summative assessment, pwede siyang bumili ng quiz retake ticket. Yung ganon. So that way, may encourage yung mga bata, no, or yung mga students to, at least to be responsible enough. So we're using reward system here. So now let me proceed to show you a demo. But this time, I will have to go to my Adzu account para mapakitaan ko yung sample ng Google Forms that I use for a synchronous class. All right, so let me go to Google Forms. Okay. Nasa personal account ko pala. Kasi I have to open it because there are forms here that I actually share outside the organization. I do also share to some people. So I would like to share one Google form I created for an asynchronous class last semester. Say this one for lesson 6, for week 6. Okay, this is how it looks. Let's take a preview. So if you're the student, this is how it will look. So of course, it will ask for your personal details for the teacher to identify whose performance he or she is analyzing or monitoring. And then sa next naman, nandun na yung pre-lecture. So other teachers call it the motivation. So nandito na yung instruction, watch the following. So for the pre-lecture, the title of the lesson is People Media. This is just an example. Okay, it says, watch the following videos and briefly describe how you feel about the information they're presenting. Type in your answers in the space provided after the last video. So here the student is expected to watch the videos. So see, napaka-resourceful ni Google Form. At itong mga videos na to, dito ko lang mismo sinearch sa Google Form. For as long as familiar na ako sa mga, may mga keywords na ako, no? So ayan. So one video, Racist Rant Use Scoop by Danica Aquino. Another video, Bakit Walang COVID ang Mga Pulubi by Dr. Char. Of course, that is not his name. And then Mind-Blowing Logo Tips by Will Patterson. And then the insights of the students here. All right. And then on the next section, this a discussion question. Okay. Just to ensure that the students are really reflecting, no, on the topics they are being introduced to or being discussed to them. Okay. And then this one, may mga instruction din dito that wherein the student will be asked to read their module, check on page so and so, and then what again are the, okay, enumerate them. So I'm just inputting random answers so we can go right away to the next sections. And then to the content or concept note. So additional, if you want to really provide pictures na which you cannot make kasi nga mag-overload, no? Mag-overload yung module and then it can feel overwhelming to the student. So nandito si Google Form to make it concise to make it feel concise for the student and simple. Notice also the theme that I have set for the format. The background is white. And then normally yung mga section banner or header, 'di ba, nasa orange. So I made sure it will be color white para mas magmukha siyang academic. And then you will also notice the banner that I provided here with classroom image in the background and then the seal of the school. Okay? So that it will feel more official for the student. So here are samples that I provided to my students and then with attached links also. And before I decided going to Google Form to come up with this, my sole purpose was just to enrich the learning experience of my students, hearing the feedbacks on the social media on how limited the resources are that are provided in their modules. So of course, since all the questions are required to be answered, so we cannot go away without inputting answers. So I will input random answers muna. And mind you guys, for those who are not yet aware of it, si Google Form, by default, it automatically saves the answers. So that in case nagkaroon ng brownout and the students missed to input something, no, once magla-login siya, for as long as naka-login yung account niya, masasave yung answers ng bata for him or her to continue. Okay. And then after those, you can provide the explanation, and then more examples, more illustrations. And then again, I will be asking for their insights. I hope everybody is just able to follow. Are you? Okay lang ba yung flow, guys? Am I going fast or not? Can I see?
Sakto lang po, sir.
Okay, thank you po, sir.
Sakto lang po, sir.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. Let me proceed. Ayan. So sa guided practice now, the Google Form will now ask the student to turn his or her page to a certain page in his hard copy module and then answer the activity there. So instead, the student will upload a shot, no, of the activity in the module, activity sheet in the module. Pwedeng dito na siya mag-answer right away. The benefit of this for the teacher is that para mas readable yung answer and so that the answer will be tabulated also in the Google Sheet later on. Mas madaling i-adjust, mas madaling i-format, mas madaling i-review ang performance. And then later on, in case magkaroon ng complaint ang students kung may kulang, by simply using filters and other features of Google Sheet, mas madali kang makakagather ng evidence kung may submission ba talaga ang student or wala. Hindi ka na matataranta, hanap o mag-open ng Google Drive, hanapin anong file nga ulit yon because nasa Google Sheet na lahat. Okay? As it is integrated with Google Forms. Okay, now for their action, okay, this one, lesson 2, okay? Kasi sa amin sa senior high school, there are weeks wherein we provide 2 lessons in 1 week, no? So imagine napaikli yung oras ng student sa pag-answer ng question because hindi niya na kailangang maglabas ng gamit, one material after another because everything is already in one place. Hindi na sila mag-o-open ng another browser, ng another website because nandito na lahat sa Google Form. Provided na ang picture, provided ng resources, ang video nandito na, and it will help the student save time. Lalong-lalo na ngayon sa online learning, napakabilis ng processes. And then, of course, we are also conscious about the screen time of our students, di ba? And about their mental health. So as much as possible, gusto natin na the student will find the material less strenuous, less stressful, and at the same time, more convenient. Diba? This will be beneficial also to the students. Okay, so that's it. Now, punta ako sa questions page. Okay? So ito yung pinakita ko kanina. If you want to change the header and the theme, you simply go to the customized theme. By the way, guys, this session is recorded. So should you want to review it next week, we will be sending you a copy of the recorded session. And for those who were able to join us also last Saturday, after this po, I will be sending to you the link to the recording that Sir Romeo provided for us. Okay, so you just go click this customized theme. This is where you are going to upload the banner. By the way, itong banner ginawa ko po sa Canva. Okay? Canva has many integrated or plug-in applications where you can find free photos, both from Pixabay, Splash.com, no? And you can also upload lots of images there. And then from the theme color, notice natin na yung what will happen to the background color if I will choose each one of this in the options, the background color. Okay? So that's how it works. Now, since I want to make it white, ito yung pinili ko para mas academic siya tingnan, mas ma-feel ng students yung pagiging academic ng material. And then the theme color naman, ito yung color ng mga section, what you call this, parang dividers, no? So ito yung common color na nakikita ko palagi. And you notice, once you choose a theme color, kasama na yung background doon. Well, whichever you want to choose for the theme color, pwede nyo ring palitan ang background color after you have set the theme color. So what I want is that, gusto ko yung theme color white, pero wala siya sa option. So to add the white color, click on the plus button. Okay, here's a color picker. Just go to this side, so I will get the white. Add that color, and nandito na siya ngayon sa option. But it's not as white, pero nakita niyo naman dito sa taas. Pero since white na yung header niya ngayon, yung divider, instead of academic, it looks more like clinical. So balik natin siya sa blue. Ayan. And then the banner, the background back to white. So that's how you set the theme. So I guess we're done with the theme. Now for the sections, okay, just be familiar with this toolbar here. You can find here the add question button. Okay, ito naman import questions. Should you want to import questions from other Google Forms that you have already created? This naman, add title and description. Image, add video, and this is the section. Nung napansin ninyo, yung Google Form na pinakita ko kanina, divided siya into different sections, diba? Yung sections, this is the feature that allows the student to see one page for a certain topic after another. Okay? So, how will you see the section in the question page? So, section 1 of 14, as you can see, it ends here. So, yung laman ng section 1, the title page, the title section, the title question. So this is a form of a title and description. And then this one, I'm asking for the strand of the student. This is a question tool. And once you hit the question tool, there are several options for you to choose. Now, guys, please take note of this. Allow me to explain how to properly use the questions, okay? The short paragraph, you can use this if your question is as a short word answer, okay? You can use this if, of course, subjective answer or specific. You can use this for enumerations, no? But yun nga, if gagamit kayo ng enumeration, guys, sa quizzes, sa summative assessments, you just have to make sure that on doon sa correct answers, for example, ito, for example, short answer to siya. If it is graded, okay, you can click the answer key para if ever, Google form will know kung tama or mali yung sagot. So this is where you input the number of points for that item. And then this is where you place the correct answer. Now, for the correct answers, take note, guys, if it is an enumeration, based on our experience, no, students will either give their answers uppercase or lowercase or a combination. So make sure you provide 3 kinds of correct answers. One correct answer should be uppercase. Another correct answer, lowercase. Another correct answer with an answer starting with a capital and then followed by small letters. Okay? So whichever the student will answer, for as long as it meets the criteria, Google form will mark it correct. So this is for the short answer. Okay. Next, for example, for another question, the paragraph is for long answers, essay types, ideas. Okay, dito naman marami nako-confuse between multiple choice and checkboxes. Take note, checkboxes, you use checkboxes if there can be more than one answers. Again, use checkboxes if there can be more than one answers. Use multiple choice if there's only one answer. Bakit kailangan we know alam natin which one to use? Because Google Sheets has a different way of tabulating the two. Sa pag multiple choice, yung question type, si Google Sheet is a separate, ang lalabas sa column is either of the options. Pero if checkbox ang lalabas, si Google Sheet ang lalabas sa column sa Google Sheet, all those na chinek nung student. So that can be confusing. So kailan gagamitin si checkboxes? If you're choosing a schedule, for example, kapag maraming, again, as I said, if more than one, there can be more than one answer. Is everybody still following? Can I see a thumbs up if you're still with me?
Yes, sir, George.
Okay,
We're still
just
with
to
you,
make
sir.
sure everybody is still alive. Okay. So there you have it. So at least clear na sa atin the difference between multiple choice and check down. Si drop down naman para siyang multiple choice. However, it saves more space, no? And basically, ito yung ginagamit kapag there is a selection, for example, strand or a menu, okay? But if mahaba na yung menu, mahaba na yung options, we go to multiple choice. File upload naman, guys, if you're asking students to upload a certain screenshot or a certain file for the output. But be wary lang of this. No? One thing to be careful about when using file upload. For example, you want to duplicate the Google form. You want to make another copy of the Google form. If you're using file upload for that certain Google form, you have to delete the file upload and create another one for that certain section. Why? Kasi once you use file upload in your Google form, file upload will store all the submissions in a particular folder set for the intended users of this Google form. What if this Google form is set only for a different section? And then dinuplicate mo itong Google form to use it for another section. So kung hindi mo papalitan yung file upload or i-reset yung file upload, even though ibang section na yung gumagamit ng Google form, lahat ng submissions nila will be stored in the Google Drive of the first section. Got it? So take note, guys, ito yung kadalasan na problem that we can encounter if you will use file upload. Again, when you duplicate your Google form, reset or delete the file upload and then create another file upload, para yung submission will be stored on the Google Drive of the intended users of that Google form. Show me a thumbs up if you were able to, if you got it. I have to be very particular about this because this is a problem talaga that we can encounter, no? Especially if yung nag-create ng bagong copy is a different user. Is a different Google account. Masashock na lang yung user, uy, bakit hindi siya napunta sa Google Drive ko? Yun pala kasi yung file destination ng file upload nandoon pa rin sa owner. So kailangan i-delete mo yung file upload, gumawa ka ng bagong file upload para sa account mo mapunta, para sa account mo gagawa si Google Form ng file ng Google Drive folder. So the linear grid, we use this for for scale. From 1 to 10, yan. Si multiple choice grid naman, parang this can be used if choosing schedule but with certain columns and rows. Ganon din for checkbox grid, may mga certain rows and columns. Multiple choices pero iba't ibang rows, no? And then for the date and time, date allows you to select a certain date with the calendar view and then see time for a specific time. So, ito lang guys, no? We need to be familiar. Again, ano yung mga tools available dito? Anong pagkakaiba nila? And then for the questions, ano yung mga question types and alin yung dapat gamitin for a certain purpose. Now, let me go now to the title and description. If you wish to add a paragraph on your section na walang question kasama, ito yung best na gamitin. Okay? So, you have a title for that paragraph. Delete ko lang muna yung first questions na ginawa natin. Okay? So for example, dito sa baba, you want to provide an explanation. Sana yun. May ginawa ko kanina na walang explanation. Ay, ito. Meron. Okay. For example lang guys, okay? You want to provide explanation, no? For example, sa previous page, you ask for the ID of the students. Sa second page, you want to affirm or validate to the student kung tama yung guessing nila. Okay? So, should you want to provide an explanation, you can use the paragraph or the title and description where you can type in your explanation. Now, ito na yung exciting part. Sabi ko kanina, di ba, si Google, sometimes ang ginagawa natin to add an image kay Google Form, we open another browser, we search for image. But with Google Form, there's a function here, the button Google Search Image, wherein it allows you to search image right away within Google Form. So say for example, I want to insert image of school. Type in school, and then there are already options available that you can insert. Ayan. Another feature that will help you save time. Okay? Same thing for the video. If you want to add a video, and then to help you save time, instead of opening another web page or another browser or another page or window, simply go to video search, type in the video you're looking for. Say you want to add inspirational or ano ba, social media. Ayan. Or, ayan, sige, social media. So there are many videos available here. Especially if you're looking for a particular topic, you can simply type it here, and then there will be many options for you to choose from. And then insert it right away. Select, and that's it. You can also adjust the size of the video and of the image. And if in case gusto nyo maliit but you want it to be centered, to be aligned to the center, you simply click anywhere outside the video or image, click on this button here, and then select the alignment. That also gives you the option to change in case you want to change the video or the image. And now let's go to the responses. The response page summarizes to us the results of the responses of the students. So here you can see how many answered with a certain option. Ayan. Para mas madaling i-analyze, guys, You can also go to question page and then choose from the type of question. And then kung gusto niyo makita how many answered with a certain option to that question. So pwede niyo siyang i-sort, no? Or i-narrow yung search. And then if you want to see the output of the students one by one or individually, go to individual. And dito niyo makikita response ng individual students. Now, let's go to the tabulation part. If you want all the responses to be tabulated in one sheet, you simply click this Google Sheet icon here. And then, if wala pa siyang Google form, it will automatically create for you a tabulated form. And then, hindi pa ganitong itsura niya guys by default. You just have to format it. Later, you will be taught in Google Sheet session on how to format the Google Sheet, no? For you to be able to easily read or analyze the content. So doon sa Google Form na ginawa ko, nakatabulate na dito yung mga submissions nila. Okay? These are links to the Google Drive where Google Forms stored the uploaded files of the students. So in case I am checking the works of my students and I want to see kung sino pa yung hindi nag-submit, I can search, type the name of a certain student, and then lalabas dito kung lalabas yung may number dito na lalabas if may output na yung student, either 1. Kung 0, ibig sabihin wala pang submission yung student. Also guys, back to the Google form, here you will easily see how many students have already responded or answered the activity. Any questions so far?
Ayan. So baka may po kayo, mga katanungan po.
Yes,
You can
guys,
type your
especially-
answers you can type your questions in the chat box, no? Or feel free to unmute your mic. Ayan. So interesting po, Sir George, ng paggamit po ng Google Forms, no?
Yes po.
Ayan.
Or maybe you had a light bulb moment, no? May na-realize ka na lang, okay, pwede pala to. Okay, share nyo naman. Para share nyo yung ideas nyo sa iba, guys. No, para meron din kami matutunan from you.
Ayan. Sir George, aside po dun sa mga binigay niyo pong samples, no? Meron pa po ba kayong other ideas or ways to utilize our Google Forms?
Okay.
Ayan.
Ginamit ko na rin po ang Google Forms, sir, no, for selling.
Oh.
Okay. So I have this, nag-experiment ako, was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. Nag-experiment ako mag-start ng isang online business. And then nag-put up ako ng shop. So since wala pa akong Google AdSense, hindi pa na-approve ni Google yung Google Store ko. So gumawa na lang muna ako ng Google Form for my store. So, and then if yung Google Form na yun, naka-display yung mga products, whatever the visitors would like to buy. So nandun na yung options, click lang nila, nandoon yung prices. And then may mga sections doon kung ilan ang gusto nila, that will prompt them to inform me kung ilan ang gusto nilang bilhin. And then if it is a service, like mayroon silang ipagawang graphic design, when do they need it? Ayan. So pwede siyang alternative online store.
Okay Parang kwan siya, sir, no? I think similar din siya dun sa isang estudyante natin sa ADSO din. Ganyan din yung ginawa niya. Pero yung sa kanya naman, parang ordering system ng kanyang mga Korean songs, kumbaga, mga Korean recordings. Ayan.
Yan po. So napaka-useful po ni Google Form,
Yes, sir.
laking tulong po sa atin.
Yes.
So everyone, kumusta po?
Ayan. So baka nagtatype pa po sila, sir,
Come
ng
on,
po,
take
no?
your time.
Nagtatype pa po ng kanilang learning anchors. Ayan. So dear participants, kindly type your po, no? We are waiting for your responses for your learning anchors. No? Please do keep them coming so that we can also learn from your sharing. Ayan.
Right.
So ayan. So siguro, Sir George, while waiting po, we can proceed po siguro, Sir George.
All right. So actually, sir, no, I have already reached the last part of my sharing of my talk. So if there are no more questions, all right. So
Ayan. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Maraming salamat po for the time, and I hope yung mga shinare ko pong from my experiences are you find them helpful on your end.
Ayan. Thank you very much, Sir George. Bigyan naman po natin si Sir George ng isang Hearts React, no? And virtual clap. Paulanin po natin si Sir George ng mga heart reacts and virtual clap. Ayan. Thank you very much po, Sir George, for your sharing po, no? Napaka-useful nito sa atin. For me, sir, personally, I really find the Google Groups, no, very, very interesting, and I think it's something that I need to explore also, no, kasi parang it's something new to me, and of course, kwan din po, sir, no, parang kasali din sa mga works ko, no. Syempre may mga binubuo po tayong mga teams, and may mga even sa classes, sir, no, pwede din natin siyang gamitin. I think this is something that I would like to explore sa kwan po in the next coming session, no, kasi currently I've been utilizing Messenger, ayan, and then kwan din po, I want to explore the Google Groups sa next sessions po natin. Maraming salamat po, Sir George, and kwan po, no, we have learned a lot from you. So once again po, paulanin po natin si Sir George ng virtual clap and ng Hearts React. Ayan. Thank you very much
sa
po.
Feedback ni Ma'am Rachel. Hopefully you will be able to use all this, no?
Ayan. Okay, so thank you very much po. So dear participants, we have reached to the end of our webinar today. Ang next webinar po natin, it will be on next Saturday, March 5, and it's all about Google Drive hacks. Ayan. So may I request also our technical team po, no, to type the link to our registration form sa ating chat box, and of course ang ating evaluation link, no, sa kwan po natin sa chat box po natin para makapag evaluate din po ang ating mga participants. Please do help us improve our future webinars po, no. We would love to hear from you as well. Ayan. And of course, for you to be able to receive your certificates, no, you have to answer our evaluation form. The evaluation form will be open until 12 midnight tonight, no? 12 midnight tonight. So ayan, so you have a very long time to answer the evaluation form. So please do answer them, and we would love to hear from you. Ayan. So maraming salamat po once again for coming. But before anything else, before tayo finally mag-end, no, may I request our technical team to take our group photo. Ayan. So may I ask Sir Aljo, Sir Louie, no, for our to take over for the group photo po.
Hello, good morning po sa lahat. May I request po to please enable your cameras po muna for our picture taking. Otherwise po, if di naman po kaya, no, just react, heart react po ba, or any emoticons na you prefer. So sige, for a while. So mag-ayos-ayos muna, no, mag-ayos-ayos muna ng buhok, mag-ayos-ayos muna ng muka.
Ganyan talaga yung mukha namin, Aljo. Anong ayos ang gawin dyan?
Okay, ready everyone? Ready? 1, 2, 3, and smile. Okay, thank you po sa lahat. Thank you po.
Yay! Ayan, maraming salamat po Sir George, Sir Aljo, and Sir Louie, at sa lahat po nag-attend po ngayong morning. Maraming salamat po. And Sir George, once again, thank you very much for sharing your expertise. We will all see you again next week. And maraming salamat po to our participants. Maraming salamat. Paalam po. Bye. Thank you. See you next week.
Thank you po.
Bye,
Thank
sir.
you,
Thank you,
George.
Thank you.
Sugar.